I am excited to be here. I know that I am supposed to talk about the art of the pivot, and I can't think of a better time, a better season, a better opportunity than to talk about that right now, amidst the pandemic, amidst the world moving a little bit differently, amidst the confusion, and amidst uncertainty. This is the time to embrace the art of the pivot. But before I share that with you, before I share how I came to run companies for people like Russell Simmons and MC Light, and how I became the creator of a global financial education platform that's helping millions of people around the world build their finances, I have to tell you a little bit about me. Because I think if you understand the things that you never read in a newspaper or in a TV magazine or on Good Morning America, then you'll understand a little bit more about why I'm so passionate about the art of the pivot. I was born and raised in Chicago. As a matter of fact, my grandmother was 75 years old, cleaning homes for wealthy people, putting me through college. And she taught me everything that grandmothers teach their children, like go to school, get a good education, get a good job, go to church on Sunday, wear clean underwear in case you get hit by a bus. She taught me all those things, but I didn't know a lot about money. What I knew about money was if I needed some, I'd say, Grandma, I need money for a field trip. She'd tell me to look in the room, on top of the shelf, behind the box, inside my pocketbook, inside a zipper, wrapped up in a piece of paper towel is $20. She'd hide the money 22,000 times, and I'd always try to figure out, how does she remember all of this? So fast forward, I get off to college. I'm at one of the country's finest academic institutions, very expensive. I'm there on full scholarship. And I didn't have any money. So I did what many people do. I got credit cards and I went to the credit card room. I didn't just get one credit card. I got one of each. Oh boy. And when the creditors called and said, Lynn, can you borrow the money? I'd say, can I borrow it from you? I had all kind of funny answers, but it wasn't so funny when I got out into the real world. My credit was jacked up. I got my furniture from Rent-A-Center. And here I was entering this world as a Black woman, educated, but broke. Fast forward, I'm married, 3 children, big, beautiful house in the suburbs. I am helping people all over the city of Chicago and the country fix their credit, get approved for mortgages. I helped a lady with 4 bankruptcies and 2 foreclosures overcome her credit issues. She got into a house with a 3% interest rate and almost no money down, and she became a very successful real estate investor. And along this path, I was helping everybody else, but I was living a lie. You see, I was living check to Monday. Check to check is a blessing. That means you get paid on Friday and by the next payday, you're broke. But check to Monday is an entirely different game. You get paid on Friday, you kick it on the weekend, you pay on your past due bills, and by Monday, you're broke. And I was living that lifestyle, making 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, $80,000 a month, not a year, a month. No matter how much money I made, I always found a way to be broke. So I spend my life now helping people understand that more money doesn't solve a money problem. If it did, millionaires wouldn't go bankrupt. If more money could solve a money problem, you never have a bankrupt millionaire, you never have a bankrupt billionaire. So what do? What we all must do and continue to do what I did then, and that's to pivot. How do we pivot amidst a pandemic? How do we pivot amidst uncertainty? How do we pivot amidst confusion and lack of forgiveness and just the energy of this world? Well, it starts with you. You see, we must all be the change that we want to see. So the very first thing that I'm going to say in terms of learning the art of the pivot is to elevate. Elect yourself CEO of your own life. Don't just sit back. Don't get depressed. Don't get confused. Have your moment and then continue to move on. Understand that this is a time for you to re-energize, for you to a time for you to ignite, and a time for you to do the things perhaps that you've never done before. Get on a schedule. Don't succumb to the pandemic, the shutdown, the quarantine, or what have you. Treat yourself like the CEO of the business that you are probably working just as hard for. So the first thing you want to do is elevate. The next thing you want to do is educate. Educate yourself about the things you don't know how to do. I didn't know how to manage money properly. Now, my degree, my undergraduate degrees in business, finance, and economics. It doesn't get any better than that. But I did not know how to deal with the day-to-day terms of money. So educate yourself. There are classes at universities like Harvard and Cornell, and maybe even your local community college. Get the education that you need. I often tell people, some of us have figured out how to do everything else. We have figured out how to build world-class businesses. We figured out how to raise our children. We figured out how to survive. But unfortunately, Black women have not figured out how to be wealthy. We are still in last place when it comes to wealth. The average net worth of an African-American woman between the age of 35 and 50 is $1. The average net worth of our other counterparts is thousands times that. And so we want to get educated. I tell people to live by the 10, 10, 30, 50. The first 10% of every dollar you get, you tithe. The next 10% you save. The next 30% is cash in your pocket or in a separate account for your incidentals. It helps you avoid a spending addiction. Your incidentals are groceries, gas, hair, nails. A spending addiction is what you have when you go to the grocery store for toothpaste and walk out with $179.47 worth of stuff you don't need. Talking about it was on sale. It was not on sale for you, right? I used to do that. I'd have $100 cash, and I'll never forget, I was trying to break this cycle. I went to the grocery store. I had $100 cash. When I got to the cash register, I had $200-300 worth of stuff. I don't even remember. And what would I have done if I had a credit card, debit card, or a check? You got it. I would have started writing, or I would have started swiping. So I had to pivot and do something different and learn something new. So the first 10% you tithe, the next 10% you save, the next 30% is cash in your pocket. The remaining 50% stays in your checking account for your bills. If you have more than enough money, that's not a license to just go spend. Now you must get your money working for you, because money will work harder for you than you will ever work for it. So you want to eliminate interest, pay off your debt if you can, a little bit at a time. You want to go with the snowball method. I teach a little bit more about that in New Wealth University, but you want to make sure that you are aware. And if you don't have enough money, now it's time to subtract. Subtract what? Whatever is in the way. Because here's the deal. Nobody has a money problem. Everybody who has a money problem actually has a math problem. And the math equation is one that we learned in first grade. 1 + 1 = 2. If your stuff adds up to 10, it'll never get into 2. So when I first started budgeting, and I thought budgets were for poor people. Now, multi-billion-dollar companies have budgets. They look at every single thing and they make sure nothing on the bottom line is putting them in the red. And we have to do the same. So you may have to get a house that's less expensive. You may have to pull a child out of the school that they're in. I value education. I did my undergrad at Northwestern. My oldest daughter graduated from there. My 2 youngest daughters are at Howard. So I value education. But in my household, school is free. If you get A's, you go to school for free. If you get C's, you're going to the free school. Either way, it's going to be free for me. So you want to try to do the things that are necessary so that you can get to the top where you're trying to go in this season of the pivot. So first you want to elevate. Next, you want to educate. The next thing you have to do is eradicate. Eradicate all of the things that are in your way. Get rid of that insignificant, significant other. Yes, I said it. Get rid of people who are draining you. Get rid of systems and social groups and constructs and things that are not moving you where you want to go. And get rid of unforgiveness. Get rid of your bad attitude. Get rid of the things that you know are holding you back. And then become the change that we want to see. If it's on your job, then get rid of the problem. If there's something that you can do, work a little bit harder. I tell people all the time to work as if you're working for the Lord and not for men. Colossians 3:23, one of my favorite scriptures. So when I'm thinking about doing something, I think about how would I want God to see it? And I do it that way. So first we want to elevate, then we want to educate, then we want to eradicate. And now you want to evaluate. What do you want your life to look like? You have to create a vision of perfection. In one of my executive training courses, the Master Achievement Plan, I talk about creating that vision of perfection, and then your 60-day goal, and then your daily activities to get you there, and move through that in everything in your life. Because there is no such thing as a business life and a personal life and a spiritual life and an emotional life. It's all connected, which is why I live my life helping others achieve personal, professional, and spiritual harmony. So when you are ready to pivot, again, make sure you elevate, make sure you educate, make sure you eradicate, and then evaluate. And finally, you want to communicate. Communicate the things that are new. Communicate and initiate. If there's a tough conversation you need to have with someone, a significant other, a child, a family member, a friend, a parent, someone on the job, then communicate and initiate. Come with a clean heart. Come with a loving spirit. Come with the truth on your side and stand and be strong. Yes, now is the season of the pivot. This is the season of the change. This is the season of the harvest, and it is yours for the taking. So right now, I am pledging and I am asking you to pledge to live your absolute best life. Let's turn the wealth story around for our generation and for our people. And wealth isn't just about money. It's wisdom, expansion, assets, leadership, transformation, and health. It's all of the things that make us whole and that give us the ability to keep striving, keep moving, keep going, keep doing, and yes, to master the art of the pivot. For more information or to reach out to me to ask a question, visit asklynn.org. And thank you so much for this time to share with you.